are you doing today? We are going to take a look at what are the tools in your toolbox and how you can create content with them. This is Dr. Yam, your Keep It Simple coach. Let's get busy. We're going to be taking ourselves through one of, or maybe even several of the different content creation or content marketing ecosystems today. And what we're going to discover is how you're going to be able to leverage some of that content. So, for those of you who are new to the group, I want to say welcome to each and every one of you. And we're going to just give me 1 second to double check something on the sound. And then we're going to get started. Give me 1 second. All righty. We had a little bit of a hiccup today. So, I thought I wasn't going to be able to do my live at all, but we're good. It happened to be a WordPress issue. So, but I think we're getting good because it's getting ready to storm here. So I want to be able to get with you guys today before my power goes out. Then, it's a shot day for that part of the work at least. So hope everyone is doing really well. So again, today we're going to answer the question, what are the tools inside of your toolbox? And how is it that you can create content with those tools? And then we are going to delve into what it is that I'm doing. We're going to give you a backdoor kind of behind the scenes on how I'm revising my website a bit and how you can do something very similar in nature. So for those of you who don't know me, I am Dr. Yam, your Keep It Simple coach, and you can follow me inside of my Facebook groups. We are here inside of Content Creation Tips and More Live, and this is for my solopreneurs, freelancers, and coaches who are new to launching their businesses, it's full-time or part-time, and they're looking to use content marketing strategies to help them to grow their business and to be profitable at the same time. Now, for those of you, if you haven't launched your business just yet and you are aspiring and you want to know how you can do that, I want you to head on over to the Busy 9 to 5 side. Over there is where I help aspiring entrepreneurs who either are starting off their side gig and or don't even know what they want to do with their side gig. We have resources and events for you as well. But today is another Biz Tip Tuesday, and this is where I bring to you my tips, my tools, my resources, and insights, and how I'm navigating the entrepreneurial landscape itself. And for those of you who want to connect with me, you can do so in social media on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. So you can find me in any of those spaces as well. So let's look at our content marketing strategies. Today, we're going to be tapping in onto both blogging and your website are the two primary pieces of content, and also visual creatives, because we're going to be able to create a visual piece of content as well. So those are going to be our three. The blogging, websites, and visual creatives are going to be our primaries in that regards. Okay, so here's my thing. You all have tools that you use for the productivity that you have with respect to your businesses, no matter what type of business that it is. Some of you are in the retail space and you use certain tools and functions and products that help you to run your business on a daily basis. Some of you are service based, and so maybe you use certain platforms or you use certain softwares to help you to generate the services and the products, or making the products themselves. And the thing too is that you want to be able to do is, as much as you're using it for yourself and it's almost kind of like second nature to you, the thing that you can use is that you can use that content, you can use those resources to create content for your audience. So this is kind of a sneaky way, if you would, of being able to generate traffic that's going to be able to come to your website, as well as offer added value to your customers. People like to know what you do and how you do it, right? Because we can't profess to be this person, this individual who is providing the levels of expertise and educating, and then be kind of keeping things behind, from people at the same time. You should be of a giving spirit. That's at least the way I look at it. So that being said, what are some of the tools that you're using right now that are helping you get through your day and helping you be productive? Softwares, hardware tools, it doesn't really matter. The question on the table is, how can you add value to your audience, to your prospective customers, as well as to your current customers? And the way in which you can do that is by creating what we call a resource page on your website. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you behind the scenes a little bit on how because I'm actually in the process of tweaking mine a bit. I'm always tweaking. But I thought this would be a great idea for you to think about if you haven't already given some thought in how you may want to take this idea and use it for yourself, because I found it to be quite helpful. And it's an opportunity, again, to leverage and bring traffic to your site if you want to, because you're creating content for yourself as well as how you're adding value to others. So this is how we're going to get started. So I'm going to share my screen real quick. Let me do that. And I'm going to share my first tab here. Okay. All right. So let me just make sure I'm showing on this one. Okay. That's a little bit better. Okay. All righty. So what you can see here on this is my homepage for right now, always changing and evolving. But I want you to take a look at the very top of the screen. And what you're going to be able to notice is on my menu, I did a quick ad, and you now have, I've called it Tools of the Trade. And so this is my resource page. You can call it whatever you feel is most beneficial for your audience. But essentially, this is a built out page that I've done. And all I'm doing here is creating a list, if you would, of resources that I use myself personally. And or in some cases, I may have used it in the past, but I stopped using it, but I still feel that it's useful. Or I've tested it because sometimes I am asked to test products. And I find it may not be something I would necessarily need myself, but it's certainly something that could be useful to other people. So I'm going to take you back, and I'm not going to do it on the programming side and take you through WordPress or anything along those lines. I'm simply showing you kind of an end product. But the whole point is that you can create this resource page because people are always interested in knowing, how do you do what you do? And this is a great way to demonstrate that by creating a Tools of the Trade page or a resource page. So by clicking on my page, it's going to take you to a page that I just finished building out not too long ago. That's called My Tools of the Trade. And simply, it goes with the theme of my site. So my branding and everything is all kind of consistent in that regards. But it's simply a way for me to share the things that I use with my intended audience. And it's something that you can simply build out yourself. You can make it as short or as long as you want. It's always good to bring some context to a page. So here, again, it's just some language that I utilize. So basically, no matter what, for my people, this is why, for my intended audience who are solopreneurs, freelancers, and coaches and small business teams, is that you're usually in 3 phases when you're at the different ways of starting up a business, right? So I kind of work in those different phases as I onboard my clients. And so I use that same language in my copy. So you just have to carry out your marketing copy on your page that is of your own voice. So just don't copy my stuff, but you can use it for inspiration. I'll put it to you like that, okay? So in this particular case, hold on one second. I got somebody, I think, trying to text. Okay, hold on. There we go. Okay, sorry about that. All right. So in this particular case, I've got some introductory copy, right? And in this case is, again, no matter what stage you are in your business journey, having the proper toolkit can do a couple of things. So what is the benefit in using these particular tools? So keep that in mind with your intended audience. So for me, it's saving you time and money is one big thing. Taking advantage of automation and activities with respect to emailing and building lists and social media postings. And also just, again, saving up the money, the pricey things that you can do in yourself rather than outsourcing it in some ways. Not to say you have to do it for everything. I think you always have to make that decision. There's this fine line in delegating. What are the things that I can do and are willing to do? And then there's going to be instances where, you know what, I really need to delegate that. I'm not that good. That's my weak area. So I'm not going to waste time because time is money. So I could still utilize a resource like a freelancer and handing it over to them. So it just matters of where your comfort levels are. But anyway, so I just give some front loading in regards to some of the content that's there and available. And then I introduce them to the information that is being stored each way. Hold on one second. Hold on. Okay, so there's that. So I'm calling this my love list, right? Because these are the things that I've curated and I'm pulling together to help my way in which I'm performing, and it also can help you do the same thing. So I've created a list, and then I have made my little note, because here's the other uh, component to this, is that this is an opportunity for you not only to create your list of resources that you can share with your audience, but if there are any affiliate components to those particular tools, you can embed them into your page itself. So you want to be aware if there's an opportunity for you to use some of your affiliate marketing methods and incorporating them into your page. So you have that as an opportunity. But I always like to be transparent and let people know that that's what they are when they click on some of the links. So I have a simple statement that is available for them to do that. Now, in my particular case, I broke it down into the phases of where I know my clients typically are. And so there are certain tools that they could use at the very beginning, whereas when they get into the phase two, they're a little bit more advanced and more skilled, and they're able to handle that. Otherwise, and I've divvied it up that way. You don't have to do it like that. I'm just sharing it with you a way, not the way. So just take this all just as a point of inspiration. But how do you see yourself creating your tool list of things that you can share with your intended audience? And so the thing too here is a real easy build to do. Again, I gave some context to mine and how it is, and you can check mine out later. But then simply just using a grid or a simple list, doesn't have to be anything that too snazzy. Don't feel as though you have to go ultra um, out with the content. You don't have to. Keep it simple, whatever works for you, and then you can always grow it and enhance it over time. That being said, what I've done is, again, I am listing the different products, and I use the logos because you want this to be visual and people to be able to recognize what it is that they have. But so I use the logo as as an image, and then I give a topic for what is this, the intent around that particular tool. Like, what do I use it for? So if it's for page building, it's for social media management, it's for live webinars, I have these particular tools. And then I give an explanation as to what they are, the benefits, some of my feedback on it, why I use it. However you want to bring that language to the table for your readers, that's what you want to be able to build out here. So you simply are creating a list, and these are these are accordions, but for some reason we can't get it to collapse by default. But I just created my list of the products and the resources I personally use, and then all are available for you to consider as part of my intended audience. So I want you to think it in the same lines. What are the tools that you're using right now that you can make your special list of resources that you could share with your intended audience? And so when you build it out, it simply could be the logo, a little bit of copy about what that particular tool is, and then a button to go and find it. And this is where you will put your affiliate link on that button. Okay. And then that's another way of generating interest as well. It could add a couple of bucks to your pay, to your site as well. So you have that. So simply adding in those resources to each one of the page components is how I've built this out. Now, I continue. So I have several because of the resources that I have, and I have it for different stages, right? from anything from graphic design to project management to outsourcing, right? So I use Fiverr a lot. I use my Wave Video. I use Trello. I use Trello and I use Canva. I use a project management tool. I use Asana for my project management tool for me and my team and my staff. So we're good there. I teach with my first time solopreneurs and freelancers when they're going, they need to set up their business banking account. So I'm a business partner with Novo. It's an online banking. You can set up for free a business banking account because it's very critical that you have those resources. So I wanted to include that because remember what I noted earlier. This falls under my stage 1 people, right? The things that just getting started, things that they need to know to running their business and their side gigs. So Novo happens to be one. I use Designer for some of my content creations for my visual creatives inside of our ecosystem. And then I use Crisp for my help desk. Again, that's a very advanced feature and tool. You wouldn't necessarily be needing that unless you are putting out a product that you want to be able to provide that level of service for. So there are those types of tools. Of course, QuickBooks for my bookkeeping. I use Integrately for my integrations. I use Zapier as well, but not so much. For my outsourcing and my team, I use Upwork. I use Google Drive for my documents. I use Livestream like I'm here with you guys. And so I also use for my animations when I'm making video tutorials for my clients. I use Toonly. So we use different tools for different reasons. So think about what are the tools, what are the resources that you offer and that you want to be able to extend to your particular customers. LastPass, again, when you get to using a virtual assistant, LastPass is your best friend for your giving them access to some of your accounts without having to give them your passwords. And so video messaging with SenseWork. I don't know why my image isn't loading. I got to check that now. And then another live streaming component too is OneStream. So there's quite a few different resources. This is my calendaring tools. So what are the tools that you're using? I use Loom for some of my video sharing tools. And of course, domains and emails, I really like Namecheap. They came in very handy today. This is one of the reasons why I moved over to Namecheap is because I like their technical support. They are on it like right on rice. So I like to use those types of tools. Alrighty. Let me just make sure. Okay. Alrighty. So those are those tools. And then things like, okay, if you're going to be writing, you need Grammarly. If you're going to be doing networking tools, I have a tool that's beautiful. I love it. It's called Boop. We'll talk about that on another day. Some of my people like physical planners. So I have a physical content planner that's available for purchase as well. But again, these are just the tools that I happen to use. So you just make your list, however you see fit, that's going to go well with your page. You can, and this is going to serve both as a resource page, and then you can even write a blog about this page and then point people over there. So that's why the blogging component comes into fruition as far as the 3 different elements that we're hitting today inside of our content marketing ecosystem. And then last but not least, you have a simple downloadable of the same list. So here's something that I figured out is, yes, people will visit your page, but why not give them a takeaway? So take this same content and create a PDF. That's what you can do with a tool like Designer. You can actually take content that's already existing off of a web page and you can capture it in the form of a simple PDF document, and then you're able to use it for a downloadable of the same list, embed the same links and everything. So now you're able to repurpose your content, right? So now you have content on your web page that you will optimize with your search engine optimization so you can get traffic to that page. You can write a blog about your tools, right? Point them to this page, okay? And then you have an opportunity of creating another piece of content, repurposing this and creating a PDF with the same content and using that as a lead magnet. Does that make sense? I certainly hope so. But these are the ways in which you're able to make those types of connections with your audience. So here you're able to click on the link and then it will take you to a landing page, which I'm going to have to take over here. So give me 1 second and I will stop sharing this page and I will start sharing over here. If you want to put any questions or any comments, feel free to do so. And if you're watching this as a recording, again, feel free to pop your questions inside of the comments, and I'll be sure to address any questions that you guys may have. All righty. So now I'm going to share my offer page. So then you're able to create a simple landing page for the offer, and now you can have it for an opt-in, right? So again, same language you could put that you pulled off of your website, you can now repurpose it here on your landing page, just re-emphasizing the same information off of your website that gives people access to getting the PDF downloadable, and you're able to create again another product of content that you're able to utilize. So this way a person can now get their own copy in a PDF format. Notice how I use the same graphics as well, keeping it consistent. That's what you want. And this is also taking people through a sales journey, a sales funnel as well. We'll talk about that on another day, but simply wanted to just focus it on the tools. So now here are my tools of the trade list, made it into a PDF, and then people can simply opt into it. Now, I hit to read more because depending on where people are coming from and the traffic, they may get here first before they even got to my website, depending on the type of marketing that I'm using. So I always want to circle them back the same way I sent them to here. You can send them back to a blog page or a resource page on your website. So always kind of think about it in the sense, how are people thinking and how are people getting to their intended they're into the spaces that they're at. So I have two different buttons because you never know where they're coming from. And you always want to make sure that you can direct them as best as possible and keep them on your site. All right, so there's that. So then a person's going to click on here and they'll be able to opt in, fill out a form. Again, simple pop-up form, just their email address and their names. And then I always have my recapture for spammers. And then click on here and they'll get the tools. And then they'll be able to do their download, and I have a follow-up email to take them down that task. So there is 3 ways that you're now evolving and taking a simple set of content that you have. And I've even re-emphasized the same information about where are you in your phases, because again, I don't know if this is the first time they're coming here and they're not coming to my website. So build some viable content that's going to make sense to send the message that people would see value in this particular offer. So again, here's my phase 1, my phase 2, and my phase 3 people, a little bit about me. And again, they can opt into the page and get their downloadable list as well. Just that simple. And let me just, okay. So there you have it, a way for you to hit on a couple of different content marketing ecosystem components, right? So like I mentioned, you can write a blog about the tools that you use and just sharing with people the things that help you make your business tick. And then you're able to also think about building out a resource page on your site. Now, it could be a blog page as well. Let everything that I just noted about be a blog post in and of itself. I chose to separate it and make it its own page, and then take them down the road. You're also then able to create the creative visual. This is the lead magnet. This is going to be that PDF document. So now you've hit on that. And then eventually, as a part of any good process, because I've created that lead magnet, then that means I'm going to also create an email automation so that they're going to be able to get some feedback respective of taking them down the journey. So yes, they'll get their thank you welcome email series because they may be new to my group, in my audience, and I want to welcome them into my community and then invite them to try out those resources and those tools. Again, every time they click on those resources and tools, they're going to get their affiliate link will be checking off for you. So you have quite a ways that you can kind of come at it from those different angles. Do make sure, again, that you map this out, just sketch it out on a piece of paper, map it out first before you go in. Just don't dive right into it, but have a little bit of a plan. But this could be a really cool way of creating content that's going to be helpful for your intended audience and also those who are already working with you, as well as those that are going to be your prospects. I hope you found this to be helpful anyway. Today, again, is another Biz Tip Tuesday, and I am Dr. Yam, your Keep It Simple coach. Again, you can find me over at keepitsimplecoach.info. And if you haven't already done so, head on over to Content Creation Tips and More Facebook group. That's where solopreneurs, freelancers, coaches, and small business teams hang out, and we learn and grow our business using content marketing tips and tools. So until next time, as always, it's my pleasure to be with you. Let's get busy. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.